In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your route schedule. So let's say you just got the software and you don't have anything on your route schedule yet and you're not sure how to build it. This is going to teach you from beginning to end how to set up your frequencies, your technicians, and how to get a route on that schedule. So the first thing is, if you just got the software, go ahead and open it up. And if you don't know your username and password to get in, the default username is the word admin, lowercase letters, and the password is exactly the same, the word admin in lowercase letters. And when you hit the sign in button, you're going to be brought to a screen that looks like this. You do not need to sync with QuickBooks every time. Simply click close so that you can go through this video. First thing is, the route schedule is a very powerful tool in our software. It's probably the reason that many of you purchase the software. We have a schedule where basically you go out to your routes every week, every month, maybe twice a week, however often you need, and this helps keep you on track. So to set this up, we're going to go ahead and click this button right here where it says routing. We can just click right above it, and that opens up your route schedule. Right now it doesn't look like much, but eventually this will look like a very large spreadsheet that you can sort and do many options on. First thing is, we have to create our frequencies, and we're going to need to create our route technicians. So let's talk about frequencies real quick. If you click into this open box here, double click, it's going to let you in it, and it's going to be called Route Frequency Maintenance. By default, you may have a couple of these already created. These are our frequencies. We have a monthly, and we've told it to run every 28 days. And what that means is that every time I set monthly to somebody, I'm going to be showing up every 28 days. In our system, we like a 28-day format. The reason why is if you put, let's say your customer name is Joe, and you put Joe on the schedule on Monday, and you want to go back there every Monday, well, 28 days is perfect. It's 4 weeks exactly. It'll get you out there on the same day of the week, because let's say you put 30 days in there. The system's going to move forward 4 weeks and 2 days. Now, if that ends you on a weekend and you don't work on the weekend, that's not good. So we use 28-day months. Typically, you can do it any way you want. That's what we recommend. And the other thing is, the last piece, the last advantage to that is that you're going to get an extra billing out of your customers every year. That means more money, which is always a good thing. So that being said, you may see a few of these by default. This frequency for monthly is 28 days. The weekly is set to move every 7 days, and we have a yearly set to move every 365 days. So I'm going to show you how to add a new frequency. Right along the bottom, and this works in most areas of the software, you're going to see this little star and then a blank line. Just click on the bottom line. The system allows you to start typing. Maybe I want to do a 3-month here. Maybe I need to show up somewhere every 3 months, and that would be approximately 91 days. And maybe I want a 6-month frequency too. And that would be about every 182 days if we're using the weekly format. Let's say that we've created some of these frequencies and we realize, you know what, I don't like the way this is. I just need to redo it. We can go back in this area. We can delete anything at any time. Let's say we don't want this 6-month frequency. To the left, and this works like this again in most areas of the software, you're going to have gray boxes that if you click on, they turn black. So you can either click on one, let it turn black, and then right-click. I would actually just right-click right on it. It'll turn black, and you can hit delete record. It'll say you're about to delete it. Are you sure you want to do that? Yes, I am, and it'll be gone from the system. Now, let's say you want to delete the whole thing at once for whatever reason. You can actually click and drag and highlight multiple things, and then hit the delete key on your keyboard. It's going to ask you, do you want to remove those? I'm going to say no, only because I want to use these for this training. So you have those. You also have an option called delete after posting route. That is made for a one-time. I would highly recommend, this is going to fall off the route after you perform one route stop for your customer. I highly recommend, if you're going to have anything delete after posting, you actually just name it one time so that you know that's a one-time stop. I'm never going there again. And the length of days just needs to be 0 because we're not moving it forward. We're not going out there again. We're just never going out there again until it gets back on the route schedule. There's various reasons for that, but let's just say you need it. That's how you do it. From here, the last things that you really have here are called use interval settings. You just check off what you want here, whichever one's going to use interval. Maybe we have one called First Friday. Maybe it's the first Friday of the month. You check off the interval. You then would hit the frequency. Okay, I want to go the first, second, third, fourth Friday of the month, maybe the last. And then from there, you'll see that it auto checks it off for you. So just go ahead and grab what you want here. And then the next thing you need to do is tell it what. Okay, I'm going the first Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the month. Maybe I'm going the first Wednesday of the month. So that's how you set up the intervals if you need those. The grouping isn't really important right now. It's not something you have to set. These are all extra options that you can use later. You can also set a default frequency if you want it to, by default, show up. I say just leave it blank, and it's easier because you're going to be selecting anyways. So from here, that's how you add. You can edit by clicking in and making a change. Maybe I want to add the word to in there for some reason, and how you remove. So from here, that's all you need to know to set up your frequencies. So these are going to be important. Set those up first. And then, as in most areas of our software, if you hit the close button, that works as a close and save. So you're going to see that I now have all those frequencies available on this drop-down. But we've still got a little more stuff to do here. So let's go ahead and create our route technicians. Again, if we double-click in this blank box under route, it brings you into your route sub-assigned list. I already have one route driver created. Whatever we put here as the name on the left side under route, that's what you select here from the drop-down. You'll see that that's the actual route person is R1. So if we set it as R1, when your technicians, if they use the mobile devices, they're going to be signing in with a username called R1. You can see that R1 is related to Joe, but R1 is the actual person that's going to be selected. So it's very important you name these the way you want them to look. You'll see there, that's where you put that route name that's associated with it, so you kind of know who it is. But this is truly what you're signing in with. If you were to name them Route 2 and give that to James, again, Route 2 is who you're signing in with. That's who the route's going to be assigned to. I recommend using Route 1 or Route 2, R1, R2, R3, R4 for your route technicians. And the reason why, let's say you name these Joe. If you named one of these Joe, it'll show up as Joe on your route schedule, and maybe you assign 100 routes to Joe. And then Joe just decides he's not coming in tomorrow. He's done with the company. He doesn't want to work anymore and do what he's doing. What's going to have to happen is you're going to have to get back in here, adjust the route schedule, disable Joe, create the new user, and then take every route, all 100 of them, and reassign them from Joe to the new person. Well, the better way is we just name it Route 1, Route 2, and we put the name here. If that was to take place and Joe decided he wasn't coming in, you don't have to reassign every route. You just simply change the name. So if Joe left and now it's Carrie, well, Carrie's doing the route now. It's still R1 for the sign-in. We just need the relationship. So that's why we recommend R1, R2, or Route 1, Route 2. However, it's versatile. You can use it any way you want. That being said, again, if you want to create new routes, you click on the bottom line. Maybe I want a Route 3 person. And you will notice that the system automatically adds a department called Route. This is important. Leave the Route department. You can rename them and give them a different department name if you want, but if you're just setting the system up for now, let's keep it simple. Leave this alone. You can attach an email address to this for later use. You can attach classes and sales reps to these technicians for billing and running reports out of QuickBooks. But to get these on there, you just need to create the name. That's really all you have to do at this point to get started with the software. A lot of these are self-explanatory. If you have any further questions on these, please feel free to hit up the training department. So we've just added a couple different route technicians. I'm going to go ahead and click close. And sometimes you will see these changes right away, but you may not. You'll notice right now I'm not seeing everything. Sometimes the system needs to have that screen closed and reopened to get all the data that you're really looking for. So if you've just configured a bunch of stuff and you do not see it here on these drop-downs, just go ahead and click the close button and open this back up. And we'll notice that now we see that extra stuff. All right, so we've done our setup. We've got our frequencies. We've got our route technicians ready. Now we want to start building our route schedule. The route schedule is actually, in my opinion, one of the easiest things in the software to do. This is essentially a glorified spreadsheet. So this works like a book, left to right always. You cannot just pick something randomly and start moving. The software will not like that. It wants you to do this in a very specific order. First thing is we're going to do our frequency. Let's say I've got some customers that are weekly. So I'm going to select a weekly frequency because I want to go every 7 days to this customer location. And I'm going to make R1 the driver or technician who's going to be working the stop. I then am going to select the next day that I'm going out there to this customer. So if you just got the software and you're going to go see a customer at the beginning of the month, that's your next time to service them, you're going to select the beginning of the month for the route day, because that's where we're going to start. Now I'm going to pretend like I have to put this customer on the 5th. Maybe I'm working them again on Friday because they're weekly and I just got the software. You select that date, and when you tab out or click out, the software is going to autofill a lot of information here. I'll explain what these are in just a moment. We have a stop number, so you can number your stops in a certain order. So I recommend basing your stop numbers upon the day. If we have 10 stops for 5-5, then we number those 1 through 10. I'm just going to pick a stop number 1, and let's say Brazil Food Market is the person that I have to service. So I've pretty much now created that route. I've said I'm going to go out every week. Route 1 is going to do the work. The first time we service them will be 5-5, and then going forward it'll be every week. And that's going to be for Brazil Food Market, and I'm going to make them my first stop of the day. Let me go ahead and create another one real fast for you. Maybe I go out there on this day. And because it's a different day, I'm going to give it stop number 1 again, because these stops should be based, the numbers 1 through 10 or 1 through 5, if you have 5 stops, should be based upon the day. So for example, if I create another weekly for R1 that is on 5-5, I'm going to make this stop number 2. Now these stop numbers, you'll see the system doesn't like that I started creating this and then I did not select a customer. It's half created. The system doesn't like that. It wants you to hit the escape key and grab a customer name. So on your keyboard, you can either click OK, or on your keyboard just hit escape one time. It'll remove that message and give you another. Hit escape again. Escape works almost like a back button. So if you get a weird pop-up, you don't know what to do, hit escape once or twice, it'll fix it. And from here, let me just assign this to a customer. Right now, I've already put 3 routes on my route schedule. 2 of them are for the same day. 1 of them is for the 8th. This is all it takes to really build a route schedule. That's all you have to do is get these options selected. You do have some additional options that we'll delve into later. However, the most important ones you're probably going to want to know is, how do I add a special note for customers when my texts go on site that'll be shown on the mobile devices or show up on the printout? Right here, you do it right under the route notes. Watch out for a dog in the backyard. Maybe we want to watch out for a vicious dog. System will ask us, do you want me to add that to every other stop for Brazil Food Market? If you hit yes, that note will be for Brazil Food Market on every stop they have. I'm going to hit no because I don't care. And again, you can use these notes. These do show up on the mobile devices for your technicians. When you move your route schedule forward to the next time you service these people, these notes do not disappear. So they're going to stay there. They're set in stone until you adjust them. If you want to remove them, just click in and start removing. And from here, that's how you build your routes on your route schedule. The only other option that is important is this suspended stops. This right here, let's say Brazil Food Market is a great customer, but they have periods of time where they just stop paying you so you don't service their stuff at that time. If you just click where it says suspended, that will suspend that stop. It will not show up when you auto-generate tickets, and it will not show up on the mobile devices going forward. So if you mark a stop as suspended, it stays on the schedule, but it does not give you a route ticket, and it does not give you something on the mobile to say basically you have to service the customer. You will not service the customer. Our system will not tell you to. So that's a pretty important option. And the reason why you can suspend it instead of deleting it, maybe Brazil Food Market doesn't pay you for a month or 2, but they always come strong. They come back with money every time, and they say, I need you to keep servicing me. It's just easier not to remove them from the route schedule. You could just suspend them and unsuspend them when you're ready to start servicing their stuff again. So again, to build that route schedule, you can keep going. We now can select a monthly, This is saying I'm going to show up every 28 days. Route 2 is going to do the work. And the first time I'm going to go out there is on the 24th, and then I'll be going out every 28 days after that. The stop number does not have to be set up if you don't want to. It's purely an additional option. And that's how this is built. So when you first get the software, the biggest piece is getting your customers right and then building your route schedule. From here, the only other thing that I think you need to know, there will be videos that show you how to move your route schedule forward and show you how everything works. I'm going to give you just a couple other tips in this video. You're probably wondering why we have the route technician and the date showing up twice here. Makes no sense. The reason that this happens like this, we're saying route 1 is going to be doing this route, and this is when he's supposed to go out, and this is the originator, this is what we want. But let's say route 1 is out today, and he has some routes. This is really your reassignment area. Assigned to and assigned date really should say reassigned to and reassigned date. This is for a temporary reassignment. If we select route 2, when these tickets are generated, they're going to show up under route 2's name. If you select route 2 here and you send this to the mobile device to work the route, it's going to show up under route 2's login. So this is being reassigned to route 2. You can also reassign the date that you're doing the work. You could do one or both, or just dates, or just assign to, depending on your needs. In the end, the mobiles and tickets that are generated are going to be based off of this column here. They're always going to look at this for who they're assigned to, and they're always going to look at this date here for the date. So again, this is your reassignment area. Very important to notice that if route 1 says, hey, I don't see this route on my mobile for Brazil Food Market. If you look at your route schedule, you're going to say, oh, it's because we reassigned it to route 2. So that's what you want to look for. The last thing that's really important here is that this thing is a glorified spreadsheet. What I mean by that, it becomes very large, but there may be times where you need to find certain data. Every column along the top is searchable, meaning I could say, give me every one of my monthly stops. The system will sort and show you everything that's set for monthly right now. I can hit reset. Maybe I only want to see my R1 stops. The system will sort and only show you R1. And if I want to get a little deeper, I could say, maybe I just want to see R1 on the date of 5/8. And there you go. So you'll see why the system is kind of useful here. You can actually sort to find things, which makes it very easy for you. And that's how you build a route schedule. We also will have videos on how to post that route schedule forward. So if you need those, that shows you how to get your routes forward. And those are really the only videos I think you're going to need on the route schedule.